We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the cloud.
So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
Dreamaholics, how you doing? It is great to see you. Remember, a dreamaholic is somebody who's completely dedicated to making their passions and dreams become a tangible reality. It's great to be with you. Now, if you were looking at that clip with Michael Jackson, like, oh my God, the king of pop, the late king of pop, one of the most powerful performers on earth in our history, telling the truth about the impact that the music that we listen to has. You gotta understand, I already understand how the subconscious mind works. I get all of that, and I've gotten a lot of training from some of the best in the world on this. But you know, it's very rare to hear somebody from the industry who knows what they're talking about talk about the real impact that it has in your life. But when he talks about, you know what, I want to run this, let me run the full clip of what he said, and let's get into this and break it down. By the way, if you are enjoying this content, if you're loving it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified anytime we drop a video. And if you really like it, please share it. Share the well, share it with other people so they can get the great ideas that can help take their lives to the next level. So let's get right into the video, I guess, and then I'm going to give you my breakdown, okay? Let's go.
Like a mantra, when you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
Did you all pick up what Michael just dropped in that? Oh my God. This is like, whoa. All right. You know, I'm going to break this down for you. Today, what we're going to cover is, he talked about a couple of things. One, being in the alpha state. Two, the subconscious mind and the impact that it has. And three, you become what you listen to. He talked about those three things. I'm going to cover all of that in great depth. And what is the overall impact on you and me? Like, what is the impact of what we're actually listening to? Because, you know, a lot of times we have great ideas in life of the things that we want to be, do, and have, things that we want to create in this lifetime. And we don't realize that sometimes some of the things that we're doing have a negative impact and actually are interfering with our objective. And if we're serious about making this happen, look, I want you to make a commitment. As I go into this material with you today, not only watch to the end, come back and watch it again and take notes, because you're not going to capture all of this the first time around, okay? I really need you to hone in, because this message today could be the one that completely changes your life. So I'm going to go to the whiteboard so that I can break it down for all my visual learners and really walk you through this, all right? So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's go. Okay, so here we are at the magic whiteboard. All right, Michael talked about a couple of different things. He talked about alpha state. He also talked about the subconscious mind. And he talked about becoming what you were listening to. Those are three things that he touched on. So let's explain this and let's break this down a little bit. First of all, let's take a listen to alpha state. And what is an actual alpha state? So we're going to Google, so this is something that you can do on your own, so you can verify and fact check. What is an alpha state? What is the definition of an alpha state?
According to APA Dictionary of Psychology, American Psychological Association, a state of relaxed wakefulness associated with increased production of alpha waves in some individuals. It is claimed that alpha states may be induced by alpha wave training, meditation, yoga, hypnotic suggestion, flow experiences, and other calmly focused activities.
Ding, 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 ding. Hypnotic suggestion. Hypnotic Suggestion. See, you know, when you are getting into a relaxed state, let me show you a little bit about, and this ties in actually to the subconscious mind. So let's watch and see what actually happens here, okay? So we've got the mind, right? And so which is made up of two parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious, right? Now, before I even start getting into this too heavy, I know sometimes as soon as you start getting into science, some people their eyes roll back into the back of their head, and they're like, oh my God. I want you to understand the impact of what you're listening to, because Michael's trying to warn you. He's letting you know this is what's actually happening. No bullshit. Like, this is what's going on internally. I guess, and you need to understand that you're being programmed. And you have to be careful about what you're programming, because when you're aware of something, then you can make adjustments. Now some people say, well, I don't really care. Well, then fine. Then keep listening to what you listen to. But I'm talking about the people who actually care about the ultimate reality that they produce, because what you listen to through the music, anything that we consume becomes a part of us. It's like they say, you know, you are what you eat. Well, you are what you think. Like this, you understand? Like this, as a man or woman thinketh in their heart, so are they. You understand? So this is extremely critical for those people who actually want to be in control. And somebody says, well, you mean I'm not in control? I'm going to get back to that in just a minute. Like this, we're going to find out just how much control you actually have, or have been exercising. Let's put it that way. Okay? So let's actually put a pin in it. So I'm going to put the word control so I don't forget. Okay? So alpha state, subconscious mind. So here's what happens. The conscious mind, the mind is made up of two parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious. The conscious mind is the thinking mind. Okay? So, whoops. The conscious mind is the thinking mind. All right? So you get to choose your thoughts on a conscious level. Okay? The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. Okay? The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. So whatever you're feeling is a reflection of what's going on in your subconscious. So you choose your thoughts. Your thoughts cause your feelings. Your feelings are reflected through your body in your actions or inactions. So actions are the things we do, inactions are the things that we don't do, right? And your actions or inactions is what produce your results. Okay? When you get into an alpha state, or you get into a relaxed state, what begins to happen is your conscious mind begins to shut down. And your subconscious opens up. It takes up more space. And you are more receptive to suggestion. Or, as Google rightfully said, hypnotized, being hypnotized, hypnosis. You're being hypnotized. And it's a constant barragement of the music. It constantly comes in. And not only are you listening to it, you're affirming it because you're singing it. And you're getting into it. And you're feeling it. And it's becoming a part of you. And you're like, oh. Right? So you're further driving the ideas into your subconscious. And whatever is impressed on the subconscious mind by law must be expressed through the body. Whatever is impressed must be expressed. Now, does that mean that you're listening to music and someone gets shot or killed, that you're automatically going to go grab an AK-47 and start killing people? No. It's not what it means. But it can mean that you are more prone to violent tendencies. It can mean that you get triggered easier. Yeah. Have you noticed that when you're listening to a certain type of music, it puts you in a certain type of mood? There's certain music you listen to and you get pumped up. Yeah, I can go take over the world. And certain music you're listening to and you're like, you get all sad and depressed. Like Adele, right? I'm kidding. I love Adele. She's great. But you know what I'm saying. Music shapes the way that you feel. That's why when you go to the gym, there's certain music that they're playing in the gym, right? It's designed to get you juiced, get you pumped up. But there's also some music that you play for relaxation. Just to calm. You just want to calm and just relax. Yes. The way that you feel not only dictates what you do or don't do, it also dictates what you attract. Oh, yeah. It dictates what you attract. What are you talking about, Noel? Okay. I'm going to erase this. I just want you to remember this. So remember, you choose your thoughts. Your thoughts cause your feelings. Your feelings are expressed through your body in your actions or your inactions. And your actions or inactions produce the results. So this is the real world, the real world effect of what's coming in through that mental programming. Okay? So Michael said you become the music, what you're singing about. He said you become it. He says when you're in the alpha state, your body gets into it. And you become what you're talking about, or what you're singing about, or what you're feeling, and what you're taking in. So because we talk about control, right? And I mentioned control. Haven't forgotten it, and I'm about to deal with it in just a second. Okay. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill described the subconscious mind as a fertile field. Okay? A fertile soil. Okay? This is the subconscious mind. Now, I should give you some context here, because some people say, so who the hell is Napoleon Hill? Think and Grow Rich? What does that even mean? Like, what's that about? Okay. Think and Grow Rich, the book, which is this book has produced more millionaires than any other book in modern history. The idea behind the philosophies of the book is, number one, is to take control over your mind and take control over your emotional state. And somebody says, well, I'm in control. Really? Are you in control? Okay. Let's take a look at your bank account. Let's take a look at all of the relationships that you have. Both professional and personal. And I want you to think. Let's look at your health. When you look at your life as a whole, you are a product of the best decisions that you have made up to this point. That's what the best that you've got. That's what you've ended up with. So if you're looking at your bank account, if you were really in control, would your bank account look like that? Let's be honest. If you were really in control, would your financial portfolio look a little bit different than it does? If you were really in control. If you were really in control, would your relationships be better than they are currently? Come on, that's the truth hour, right? Are you really in control? Some people say, well, have you ever found yourself saying to yourself, I want to do this thing, but it's so hard. It's so hard to get motivated. It's so hard to do this stuff. It's so hard. I'm trying to break this habit. It's really, 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 really hard. Well, where do habits come from? Your mind. It's your thoughts. Remember talking about conscious mind, subconscious mind? You choose your thoughts cause your feelings. Your feelings are expressed through your body, and your actions or your inactions, and your your actions or your inactions are what produce the result. Well, if it's really, really, really hard, what you're saying is, I'm not really, really in control of my mind, because if I was, I could say, excuse me, body, you're going to do exactly what I told you to do. Let's move. Let's become financially literate. Let's begin studying. Let's go. We're going to do this every day, and we're going to be consistent with it. You know what? You need to get out there and start reaching out to more clients about what you're going to do. You need to actually pursue that dream and go for it. Come on, body. Let's go. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you were in control. You're not in control. Let's be honest. If you were in control totally, the results should be very different than they are. Fair? Okay. So the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill has produced not just more millionaires than any other book in modern history, but if you actually go through and look at the names of the people who are referenced, for the people who I've actually studied this, and who Napoleon Hill studied, these people are titans of industry. Titans of industry. I can give you a bunch of the names, but I want you to actually go do some of your own research. Check and see what I'm saying and see if it's real or not. Check and see if what I'm saying is right. Titans of industry. The best of the best. Napoleon Hill contends that if you master the principles in this book and you master the intellectual faculties, that you can attract anything you want into your life within a reasonable period of time without violating the rights of others. And the results of this book are unquestionable, globally, in multiple languages. Yeah. So, in Napoleon Hill's book, I just said all of that so that you understand the gravity of what I'm sharing with you. Okay? Okay. So, Napoleon Hill, in his book, Think and Grow Rich, and I'm actually going to do a whole series on Think and Grow Rich, by the way, so look out for those episodes. It's going to be multiple episodes, because there's a lot of people who have read the book or listened to the book, but haven't applied what's in the book. And you can listen to me, you can listen to Tony Robbins, you can listen to all of these great trainers and coaches. If you don't apply what's being said, you might as well be watching Netflix. Go binge on that. You know what I mean? You've actually got to do some work. But what I'm trying to show you is what's going on inside and what Michael Jackson is trying to say in that little video clip, because it's the truth. And we have to watch what we're programming, because if you want to be that person who is fully in control of your mind, you need to understand how it works. And then now you say, okay, now I understand how this works. I got the manual. Now I know how to make adjustments to my processes internally so that now I can go and create the reality that I want. Hope I'm making sense to you, okay? So the subconscious mind is like a field, all right? It's with fertile soil, okay? It doesn't care what you plant, but it will return whatever you plant. So ideas are the seeds. Ideas are seeds. Okay? The songs that you're getting or listening to, these seeds are planted. They're thrown all over the place. Okay? And the more you listen to those seeds, because will the seed grow by itself? No. What do you need to have? You need fertile soil. The seed, it needs to be fertile soil. You need some light from the sun. Or you need some sun, and you need a little bit of water. Right? Those are some of the ingredients. What we refer to those as nourishment. You need nourishment in order for that seed to take hold and begin to sprout and grow. So here you've got these seeds here. Oh, by the way, what is nourishment? Nourishment is attention. So when you're listening to the songs and you're repeating it and you're getting into it, you're nourishing it, you're giving it life. And you're giving the ideas, the seeds, you're giving them life. Okay? You're giving them life. And so if I plant apple seeds, what kind of a tree do I get? Apples! Oh my God! Yes. Isn't that a great? Okay. Let's try another one. If I plant cherry seeds, what do I get? Somebody smart said bananas. Right? You never know, genetic modification. Right? All right. So whatever you plant in this the field of the subconscious mind, because this is what this is, the subconscious mind, will be returned. So the question is, what type of seeds are you planting on a consistent basis and nourishing? So if you're planting seeds that are going to give you Everybody can see that art was my major, right? Woo! Yeah. You can see that art was my major. See, these trees begin to bear fruit. The fruit are representative of the nature of the seed. When you look at your bank account, it's a reflection of seeds. It's a result. It's the fruit of your labor. Yes? Come on. If you look at the condition of your relationships, same thing. If you look at your health, these are all just fruits. Are you getting what I'm saying? Results of the seeds that have been nourished. You need to be careful about what you're programming. You need to be careful what you're programming. Because I remember Malcolm X said, you can't hate the root and not hate the fruit. It came from what's in the roots. What's the seeds? You need to be going through the lyrics of the music that you're listening to and ask, is it taking you to where you really want to go? Which is specifically why I like songs like, I'm all the way up, nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. Or, I love my life, you know, Mr. DeMarco. Or, I'm a big deal, you know what I mean? Like, just all kind of big tracks. That's the kind of stuff I like to listen to. Because those are the seeds I want to reinforce. Those are the seeds I want to nourish. And then when you look at the results in my life, you're seeing the bank account that reflects it. You're seeing a lifestyle that reflects it. You're beginning to see, you know, healthy living, healthy relationships. That's what you're seeing based on the seeds that I plant and nourish. Now, does that mean that I never listen to negative stuff or the hardcore stuff? I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But do I listen to it on a regular basis, consistently? Hell no. No. Because I understand the impact. So that's one part of the impact. The other part of the impact is attraction. The law of attraction is invoked based on your emotional state, the way that you feel, what you feel, because what you feel is what's really in your heart. And then so you begin to attract similar situations. I have an entire video on attraction, by the way, so go take a look in my video series. I have a whole video on the law of attraction, okay? So you can actually go look at that where I go much more into detail. I'm not going to do that right now. But what I wanted to say to you is that we are beings that function based on frequency and vibration. And based on the vibratory rate that we put out, we attract different situations and things into our lives. If you've noticed, so there are some people who, in their lives, it's a constant train wreck. Negative things keep coming up in different forms. They seem to have, quote unquote, bad luck. Whereas there's other people who, no matter what happens, no matter what challenges, they always seem to end up on their feet. Good things always seem to happen. They always seem to meet the cool people. They always seem to be able to get connected with some really great people or great things. Good things seem to always happen for them. And it seems to be a consistent thing. I'm not talking about one-off patterns where because bad things can happen to good people. I'm talking about things that keep showing up, patterns in your life that keep showing up. It's a reflection of what's going on with your core thinking. Your core thinking is based on the seeds that you allow to be planted all the time. And it's not just from the music, it's also from our conversations, the way that we talk, what we talk about, whatever we're thinking about on a regular basis. Michael said that you become this. You become the music. You become what you're listening to. So then the question is, what do you want to become? What do you want to become? If you want to become the greatest manifestation of what's possible based on God's gifts and talents that He's put in you in your life, then that means that we may need to make some adjustments. Yes? Now somebody says, well, Noel, you're talking about positive seeds. Some people listen to gospel music, but they broke. Yes, I know. I didn't say the music alone does it. Are they talking about getting rich? Are they actually focused on working towards making that become a reality? You choose your thoughts cause your feelings, your feelings cause you to act or not to act. And so you need to have, what you want to be is surrounded by the right nourishment in order to go and create the reality. But if you're starting out with negative music and with stuff that's constantly in your mind, is that putting you in a situation to win? No. The person listening to the gospel music at least is in a better mind state. So now they need to couple that with some practical understandings about money. And if they're listening to positive music, I guess at least that's a start. You know what I mean? Like this, now they can start looking at compounding that and nourishing it by actually investigating different ways to be able to create wealth and build wealth and continue building that nourishment, continue putting those seeds in the mind. Part of the problem with sometimes in the spiritual community is that your head state remains in the clouds and you don't actually do anything that's practical, thinking that God is going to deliver everything for you instead of you actually doing the physical work and working with him, because faith without works is dead. So you have the spiritual, which is great, but you also need to have that tangible where you're on the ground, you're doing the work in order to create the results that you want, which means you need to have the spiritual nourishment into those seeds of financial literacy. So what have you been listening to that promotes financial literacy? Who have you been studying? Have you been talking about in your mantra, I'm getting rich, I'm learning about money, I'm growing, I'm making great things happen? You should be looking at guys like Akon. You know, that guy has done some tremendous things in Africa, like this with what he's done, because his whole mindset is about becoming wealthy. Maybe instead of listening to all their songs, look at what the successful ones actually do from a business perspective and how they live their lives. And you can plant those types of seeds and nourish those and begin that journey so that you can create that type of fruit. Are you getting what I'm saying? We need to choose what we want to become. You do have some say in this. And what I'm encouraging you to do is take an inventory of what you're listening to. Take an inventory of what your conversations are like. Take an inventory of what your thoughts are on a day-to-day basis and ask yourself, are they consistent with the fruit that you want to create in your life? Are they consistent? And if they're not, we need to make an adjustment. Let me know in the comments what adjustments that you're going to make. Let's start making those adjustments today and let me know what those results are. I'm looking forward to it. Have a powerful day and let's continue to grow together.
We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.